Hey, yo, PBC is actually absolutely destroying the competition. Wow. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Boxingego quick hits, less intro, less filler. Let's get it. Now, you guys by now, if you've subscribed to my channel, of course, have heard the news. Canelo Alvarez met with Al Haymon in Cleveland, and what's coming back is he's done a 3-fight deal with Premier Boxing Champions, which is a move that Eddie Hearn and DAZN clearly didn't see. They thought they're loyal to Canelo. Canelo seems to have a bromance with Eddie Hearn, and they thought it was sweet. And surprise, surprise, Canelo liked the offer enough to go back to PBC. What do I mean go back? He's worked with Showtime in the past, fights like the Lotta fight, more recently his undisputed fight with Caleb Plant. Now, this is a bold and big move because I think it's the best move Canelo could make. That being said, Al Haymon and PBC, Showtime, Steven Espinoza, everybody involved, killing the game. You got free agent Terrence Crawford. You got free agent Canelo Peve Alvarez, who were lured out of free agency and end up doing a deal with Al Haymon and PBC and Showtime for multiple fights. So Al Haymon was able to lure both Crawford and Canelo virtually out of free agency with deals to do a 2 or 3 fight deal. That's big. I mean, Crawford has a chance at undisputed and Canelo is undisputed. Speaking of, let's talk about undisputed. That means by December, it is likely that PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, will have 3 undisputed champions. Let me explain. You got Errol Spence fighting in July against Terrence Crawford. Winner of that fight will be undisputed. You got Jermell Charlo in the division above. He's already undisputed, and he's likely going to fight Tim Tszyu. The fight hasn't been announced, but if I'm not mistaken, the sanctioning body gave Charlo with his injury till about August or September to start negotiating with Tim Tszyu. So likely they'll fight this year. Again, it's not official at the moment, but that's another undisputed fight. So the winner of that fight will be undisputed. And then finally, with Canelo joining the stable for 3 fights, he's already undisputed at super middleweight. So if he fights Jermall Charlo, that'll be a undisputed fight because it would take place at 168. Canelo already told you he's not going back down to 160. PBC is everything that old media feared, that PBC would be kind of like the UFC and monopolize the game, is happening. And it's so funny to see because all the haters, the PBC haters, the anti-Haymonites, and all the people who said negative things, where are they now? People said Waddell and Reed wants their money back, and Al Haymon burned his bridges, and there were all these pinups and write-ups about PBC lost network deals in the past, like they were on Bounce and Spike TV and ESPN, and these failed deals, and none of that really mattered. They're putting on the biggest fights. There were also a section of boxing fans and old media that were saying PBC is completely broke. They're broke, they're out of money, and they can't afford fights. They can't make Benavidez Plant, which they made March 25th. They can't make Crawford. They're not gonna, because the negotiations failed last year, they don't have what it takes to lure and give a respectable deal to Crawford. They can't get Canelo. Canelo, is on the other side. And this is the funny thing. Tupac once said, the great Tupac, ninjas love to scream peace after they start some ish. And that's what I see. All the same people who said that are now waving the white flag and backing off the block like, oh, why do you care about promoters? Why do you care about networks? No. You started this war and now you're going to finish it. So just wave the white flag. All the people that said PBC broke and all that, it looks crazy now. They're so broke they got Crawford. They're so broke they got Spence. Huge fight. They're so broke they lured Canelo from DAZN. DAZN was the one saying pay-per-view is dead and we got $1 billion war chest. Where is any of that stuff now? VH1, where are they now? Eddie Hearns was talking all that trash about, he got all the money in boxing and Showtime will be out of business and displaced and people above Steven Espinoza will override him and veto their boxing programming, none of which has happened. People were saying when Showtime and the Paramount Plus app combined or, became kind of a package deal that Showtime boxing would go away. All these nefarious lies, conjecture, and speculation just to be wrong. So the PBC haters, they must be beside themselves right now, hating life. Because the funny thing too is on my channel, when I said I thought that Gervonta Davis he's the wave, he's the face of boxing. You got to realize the biggest crowd that would refute this were anti-PBC people who don't like Tank, don't like black fighters, don't like a black advisor like Al Heyman, seem to hate the PBC and everything. They were saying, no, Canelo is the face of boxing. Well, surprise, PBC now has Gervonta and Canelo. So no matter who you think is the face of boxing, they're both going to be fighting on PBC when Tank gets free. And that's a tough pill to swallow. So I want to see and hear in the comment section, all the people that said Canelo's still the face of boxing. Well, guess what? A lot of them were saying it to cause conflict because they don't like PBC, and Canelo, nobody knew about this move. So Canelo was quote unquote on the other side. He was with DAZN and with Eddie Hearn, and they didn't see this coming. They didn't foreshadow this. So now let's hear if they call Canelo the face of boxing. Now that he's working with that black advisor, Al Heyman, and the weasel, Steven Espinoza. They said all these slanderous things about PBC. Now what do you say? When no matter, even if you think Errol Spence Crawford winner is the pound for pound #1 person or the face of boxing, they're on PBC. If you think Canelo's the face of boxing, he's on PBC. Or Gervonta is another name. Even Jermell Charlo said he believes the face of boxing right now currently is Gervonta. No matter how you slice it, PBC's doing big things because they've captured all of those guys. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'm clearly the best of the business. It is not even close. Subscribe.